PBA is live on ESPN. Our 5 finalists from Medford, Oregon are ready to roll. First, the 1987 PBA Rookie of the Year. He won his 4th career title earlier this season in Latham, New York. From Elmira, New York, Ryan Schaefer. He finished 2nd in a thriller last week in Seattle, and today makes his 4th TV appearance of the season. A 2-time titleist from Wichita, Kansas, Lonnie Wallachek. From Lockport, New York, near Buffalo, he was last season's PBA Rookie of the Year, 2nd in the PBA World Rankings, looking for his 1st career title today, Brad Angelo. From Flushing, Queens, New York City, he's 5th in the PBA World Rankings. Today makes his 2nd TV appearance of the season. Tries to add to his 2 career titles, Tommy DeLuce Jr. Half of the only father-son duo in the PBA Hall of Fame. His 29 career victories are 4th all-time, including the Triple Crown from St. Anne, Missouri, near St. Louis. The one, the only PDW, Pete Weber. That is the final 5 from Medford, Oregon today. Dave Ryan, Randy Peterson. Randy, let's check in with our matchup. All the latest info on the PBA Tour, just a mouse click away, www.pba.com, and now the Tour's official website has been updated. We feature live scoring, beginning with a round of 32 match play, continuing through the end of each tournament. Live scoring, much more at all at pba.com. Log on today. Back to Schaefer. Look light. Wow. Another break.
It was light. I think maybe next time Lonnie gets up, I'll tackle him.
Yeah, he may have to. Lonnie Wallachek, perfect through 6 frames. Ryan Schaefer, if he strikes out, can shoot 257. Ryan Schaefer told me last night, you know, Randy, I hated pattern B last year. This year, a win on pattern B.
10-pin for Schaefer on the left of the TV pair, however, with the 6-packer to start things for Lonnie. The unbelievable start. It might be impossible to catch. Asked a lot of the bowlers last night if they've been in a similar situation Lonnie was last week in Seattle. And all of them have been at one time or another in match play throughout their amateur careers where you need a mark in the 10th. Something so easy and so every day for these guys at this level just doesn't happen. Rebounding quickly. Since the round of 8 on fire. Seven straight, does he have it? Not quite. 2-pin.
Fortunate not to leave the 10-pin with that. This is an easy 9 spare for Lonnie, who will be going at a 249 pace, meaning that if he strikes spares the rest of the game, goes 20 pins a frame, he will shoot 249.
Covers, takes care of the mark. What's on the line today? And the march to the World Championship. Plenty of points, $40,000 as well. Pete right now has not won on tour this year. Hasn't won since last year in North Carolina. But he's number 1 on the tour rankings. 25,000 points to be won today. 20,000 for the runner-up. Brad Angelo also looking for a first career tour title. So they have not earned automatic exemption, but really, are they locked is the question now? Yeah, pretty much. With a great year. And a great shot from Lonnie, who says he got 35 phone calls or so after last week's disappointment in Seattle.
Well deserving too, because you don't like to see anybody lose a tournament the way Lonnie did. But by throwing shots like that, Lonnie's going to be very difficult to beat.
$3 a day. $3. All I got to do is say to myself, you know what?
Playing were very marginal.
This is disturbing.
Went to a more aggressive ball, and that ball goes dead flush. And right now for Ryan Schaefer, he has to strike out. 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, and hope that Lonnie Wallachek has him open in either the 9th or 10th frame to have any chance to win this game.
Desperately needed a strike to keep this thing going and keep his faint hopes alive. He's done that.
Well, there's still life, and as we saw last week, anything can happen on the PBA Tour. Again, another light hit. Right now, Lonnie Wallachek, all he has to do is stay clean in the 9th and 10th. Any kind of a mark, spare or strike, 9th and 10th frame.
Foundation frame here, strike for a 42-pin lead. That looked high through the nose.
And that could have been disastrous.
3-6 up.
3-6 up is much better than the 3-4-6-7, which was facing Lonnie, even the 3-6-9-10. But right now, just a 3-6 spare. Straight and hard at it with a plastic ball that doesn't hurt.
Takes care of the 3-6. Of all those phone calls, Lonnie said one from his cousin was the best, who didn't call after Seattle's disappointment to console Lonnie, but said, hey, add up all the numbers right now. All you really have to do is enter the remaining events on the tour, and you're exempt. So look at it as a positive. And Lonnie said that really was the most poignant and valuable call of all he got. Of course, his wife, Amy, was wonderful as usual. And building him up for the next week, which he's done so well.
Well, with a spare here, Lonnie's going to win. If he misses this, we have a possibility of a tie, but I don't see Lonnie missing this 2-pin. And straight up the back, that release coming right up the back end of the ball. This one was just pulled. And again, another nice break, not leaving the 310, so avoids 2 disasters in the 9th and 10th frame.
Lonnie has wrapped it up. He'll be off to the semifinals, the second straight week from that wild card position, or that match he's had to work out of, which is not easy. So the week ends for Schaefer, who's bowled very well.
Another great week for Ryan Schaefer, who before he won in Latham, he was 83rd on the point list. Coming into this week, he's 12th on the point list. Big turnaround for Ryan Schaefer. You won't see the last of him. And Lonnie Wallachek, after the disaster last week, wins another game on television. What a rebound for that young man right there.
Ryan very happy with the way this year's gone, not only for himself with a victory, but he thinks with the exemption next year that's brought out the best in bowlers throughout the entire tour. Like
A little shaky down the stretch, but got through the first one.
That's back home to the family in Wichita. Brad Angelo on the right, Tommy Lutz Jr. on the left. That's the next match, semifinal from here in Medford. And as Ryan pointed out, hey, guys are coming in 8 in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, even on days they're not bowling, to practice and get ready.
I tried.
Guys like Tommy DeLutz, who's not clinched a spot next year. Angelo's, we mentioned, second in tour points, pretty much there, but he hasn't clinched yet. So the motivation is there, and the better bowling is a result.
I think every player on the telecast today, even though not everybody has won, they're guaranteed a spot next year.
Go get him. Wallachek is through to the semifinals. He'll take on the legend Hall of Famer PDW Pete Weber coming up next. We've got Brad Angelo, last year's Rookie of the Year, bidding for his first ever career title against Tommy DeLutz Jr. He's won a couple times on tour. It's all coming up from Medford. December 7th of 2003 in Windsor Locks, Connecticut. That was Mika Koivuniemi's perfect game. You see through 6 frames. The breakdown so far. Perfect start for Tommy DeLutz Jr. Mika became the 16th all-time. bowler to register a 300 game on TV. Can Tommy DeLuce Jr. here in Medford become number 17? There's a lot of extra prize money on the line if he can keep it going. Here's 6 in a row.
Buck-Olympic, baby! Yeah.
I think it's important to make a note. Tommy DeLuce Jr. has 6 in a row. If he gets
Little housekeeping.
9 in a row, Cambridge Credit is sponsoring a bonus of $10,000 to the first player on TV to start a match with 9 strikes in a row. If that player goes on to roll a 300 game like Mika did in Windsor Locks, the bonus will be doubled to $20,000.
$10,000 from the PBA is on the line. We're coming to you from Lava Lane's Medford, Oregon. Live coverage, PBA Tour. Lutz Jr. bid for a 300 game, looking for 7. You bet. We had 3 300 games in Medford this week. Tom Baker, the round of 1. Rudy Kazamakis, round of 1. Tommy Jones, who made the final 8, round of 16, has 3. But since then, not had one. A chance for DeLuce Jr. 3 so far this week. There you see it. Angelo's got to keep focused, hoping for an opening, and there's a good ball from him. Flush in the pocket.
Well, that ball picked up at the right spot. We like to see skid roll hook on the tour. Skid the first 15 feet of the lane. This is the signs that are letting you know the distance. First 15 feet is the heads. 30 feet is where we want the ball to start rolling, and when it comes out of the pattern at 43 feet, that's when we want to start seeing it go to the left. Brad Angelo looks like he's more skid, hook, and Tommy DeLuce Jr. looks like he's more skid, roll, and hook.
Down 32 pins, but there's a chance for opening. There always is. Looking for 8. Yes! 8 in a row. Tommy DeLuce Jr. bidding for a 300 game. He's close.
I want you to watch Tommy DeLuce Jr.'s finishing position at the foul line as this ball shreds the rack. Watch this. Look how he just stays with it, and that body doesn't move. I think that's what makes Tommy DeLuce Jr. so great. The shot here is for $10,000 from Cambridge Credit Counseling.
He's had 1 300 game this year, folks. 26 in his career. Big bonus on the line. Front 9. Mark! Yeah!
Yeah! Front 9, he needs only a mark in the 10th frame to win this match. But more importantly, 3 more strikes for another $10,000 bonus from Cambridge Credit Counseling and $10,000 bonus for a perfect game from the PBA.
Getting close. Last year we had Norm Duke in Seattle. Unbelievable finish that was. With a 300. This year Mika Koivuniemi.
Let's go.
And now a chance for Tommy DeLuce Jr.
But remember, like last week, Walter A. Williams Jr. strikes out 9th and 10th to force Lonnie to mark in the 10th frame.
What can happen? Got to keep the pressure on him.
Done.
And that's it.
All right.
Brad Angelo is going to lose this
After a few
match,
balls?
but Tommy DeLuce Jr. has a chance at perfection.
4, 6, 7 up for him on the split. Take out the 4, 7, 6 remains standing in an open frame. Finishes Angelo. That means DeLuce Jr. will advance on to the final. Lonnie Wallachek, Pete Weber will be his opponent.
You know, I think right now it's actually going to be easier for Tommy DeLuce Jr. to actually pull off a perfect game, because now he does not have to worry about making that perfect shot or fitting that perfect shot to get a mark to win. All the pressure is off for him winning the game.
When do we see a 300 game last? December, Windsor Locks, Connecticut. We all battled that blizzard, including Mika Koivuniemi, the big pin. And locked in all week, including in the championship match, a 300 game and a title for Mika Koivuniemi, earning exemption, his 3rd career championship, first non-major title for him. Now it's DeLuce Jr. Can he keep it going? 10 pin! the magical run will fall a little short. He has won the match, though, to the final, but he will not have a 300 game.
Watch this ball. It's going to get right. It's going to get back, but it rolls out. It stops continuing left right before it enters the pocket, and that's why it hits flat.
So this match has been locked up. Duluth Jr. off to the finals. A win in the semis. Over Brad Angelo. What a moment. Nearly a 300 game. In the booth for this first half of the match between Weber and Walczyk. This is the semifinal. Almost had a 300 there with Tommy Duluth Jr. Marshall was locked in.
Sitting right behind him, and he really had the left lane totally wired. He was coming in wide in the right-hand lane and got caught in that half pocket zone. But 279, what a great game.
Nice break, good start for Lonnie Walczyk. Now, Marshall, we asked a lot of the players last night if they had experienced something like Lonnie did last week in Seattle, where he had a mark in the 10th, didn't come through, overcame the emotion of that to return to the show next week. Do you remember a similar experience with your career?
Well, I didn't finish second 32 times without, making mistakes in the 10th frame. And, yeah, it happened to me. And, boy, my hat's off to Lonnie for making the comeback.
And a great start for PDW as well. Pete Weber, another Hall of Famer. Which Randy leads us to the Baby Ruth Real Deal matchup.
Well, the big difference here is this. Check this out. 70% strike percentage for Lonnie Walczyk. It comes down to throwing strikes. He throws a lot of strikes with Marshall Holman. Again, talking about what happened last week in the 10th frame. I mean, what goes through a player's mind when something like that happens?
Well, I think that, sometimes it's easier if you're forced to throw a strike than if you have to throw just a spare, because you get a little protective. And I'm imagining that's what Lonnie did in the 10th frame last game. And, I also think it's going to be difficult for Lonnie today, because the way he threw the shots in the 9th and 10th frames of his first game, I think that's going to plant a little mental doubt in his mind as well. And you don't need that bowling against Pete Weber.
PDW covers nicely.
Nice follow through.
Ready for his first title of the year. Really no reason to worry about exempt status for next year. First in points right now.
Yeah, none of these guys have to worry about exemptions. They're either have won a tournament or they have so many points they're going to make the top 50 without an issue. So, Marshall, getting back to what you talked about, but I agree with you. As Lonnie Walczyk throws a nice strike there, Lonnie Walczyk was going much straighter in the first match with a different ball. Now he's way in where Tommy DeLuce was when he shot the big 279 game.
Well, these guys watch the other players, and he did have a good look for the first part of his game, but those shots on 9th and 10th frame, maybe that was the impetus to making that move deep in the left side. And, I watched him bowl all week, and I couldn't believe the way he was able to play outside. I tried to play in, not very successfully, but most of the guys were in this week.
Well, you had a great week, Marshall, just missing the first cut like 4 pins, and for a guy that bowls only 3 games a week, I mean, it just goes to show you how great you were and still are to me.
Well, I appreciate that, Randy. It was fun. If I'd have bowled 9 more games, if my hand just would have hurt even worse than it does now. So maybe a good thing that I got knocked out.
We're joined in the booth here by the Hall of Famer Marshall Holman, 22 titles.
How am I going to make that other $110 to get to 1.7? I just don't know.
Bowl regional.
You got a whole regional something, pal, that's for sure. As Lonnie covers, picks up the spare. He's hitting for the turkey, the 3 straight strikes to start this semifinal match. Tommy DeLuce Jr. is already through. So Weber down by 8 pins, 3rd frame for PDW. Trying to become the 4th bowler in PBA history to win 30 titles. Earl Anthony, Walter Ray Williams Jr., Mark Roth are 30 plus.
Harrison Frazier leading the tournament by 1 shot over the defending champion.
Oh, no. 9-pin wiggling, still wiggling. Don't go.
Marshall, not to get away from Pete's solid 9, because obviously not a good break on a strike, but I have to ask you this question. We talked about it all year long. What is your feelings on the tour going to an all-exempt field next year, and how would you feel being in a position like, say, myself, trying to get to that exempt status?
Well, it's a bold move by the people that are now running the PBA. I think it's going to make for a lot of excitement next year. As far as being in the mix this year, at this stage of my career, or at this stage of your career, very, very difficult. The new format with the best 4 out of 7, to advance in match play is it can be cruel at times. But hey, the guys know what they're up against, and I'm happy to be here in Medford, Oregon, and not out there with you trying to get that exemption.
Nice break, 10-pin, late to fall for Lonnie Wallcheck. We saw the breakdown of the 64. Player field for next year will be very different on tour.
See that dark board? It just crossed over right there at about the 43-foot mark. That's the 10th board. That's Lonnie's break point. Del Ballard, our statistician, and I talked yesterday. We felt that Tommy DeLutz Jr. and Lonnie Wallcheck, when we talk about that skid roll hook type of look, that they're the best at it. They get the ball to skid through the front part of the lane, get it to pick up in the middle part of the lane, and then get that ball to roll the right way. And that transitional move down the lane is perfect.
Well, they're proving it right now. I like Brad Angelo's chances. I watched the ball all week, and I was so impressed with the way that he gets his ball in the pocket, shot after shot after shot. But, boy, DeLutz dismissed him easily.
Yeah. Well, I think talking about Brad, that's why he is second on the point list and doing as well as he's doing this year. He makes the finals every week. And the only thing that he hasn't done is win. And he's now recorded 2 telecasts this year.
Down 18 pins heading into that shot.
I never... He liked that shot, Randy, but do you think he gets a little slow, a little extra hit on that ball?
Well, it's either that or it's the wrong ball choice, because that ball needed to go another 2 feet down the lane before it changed direction.
And the 3 stands. So an open frame for PDW. That hurts, especially the way Lonnie has bowled, who has a double now and a big 31-pin lead on Pete Weber.
You know, Marshall, you practice before your match starts, and a lot of times if you don't have a great look, you have to guess. And it looks like Pete made the wrong guess.
Yeah, and you just have a few frames to make that guess.
Right.
Way left on his approach, makes the adjustments on lane 29 very well. Marshall Holman, great to see you again.
Thank you, Dave. Randy, thank you very much. Enjoy playing golf with you at Will earlier in the week. See you next year.
Thanks, Marshall.
We'll break down those scores when we return, plus the rest of this match from Medford. Medford 37 combined titles. Pete Weber has 29 of those, and all 6 of the majors won in this field. The 87 TOC, the U.S. Open National Championship in 89, 98, and 91 U.S. Open, TPC in 92, but he has not won the ABC Masters.
He finished second there, though.
Perhaps this role will lead him to a good appearance in Reno at the National Stadium next week. 1 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll have the second major of the season for you here on ESPN. But for now, Lonnie Wallcheck in control. 31-pin lead. And 2.
It's okay if it's just the 2. If it's the 2-8, a little bit tougher. If it's the 2-10, extremely difficult. If it's the 2-8-10, forget it. Just get 9.
Takes care of the 2 pin.
In the wild card match, look where Lonnie Wallcheck was standing, about the 13th board. His hand up the back underneath and going straight up the 10th board. Now look at this big move. Some 25 boards to the left, and his ball crossing the 25th board. That's 15 boards left with his target. Changes balls, changes hand positions. You have to be versatile on the PBA Tour, and you have to commit to the change.
Like Chris Barnes, also from Wichita State, real technician of the game. Lonnie understands so much about the layout, the breakdown, and a thinker on tour. 6-10 up for him.
On the right lane, he went 2-pin. This one, he wanted to make sure he got a little bit more hand in it, and it was too much hand, leaving the 6-10.
It's very hard with a sports psychologist. He spoke up after the show last week in Seattle. That sports psychologist actually lives in Reno, so he'll have a personal session with him when he goes down to the ABC Masters and the other event we've got in Reno coming up after that. They'll have their own little film session, review what happened last week. They'll watch the TV tape and talk about mannerisms, psychological reactions. All those things are so big. There's so much on the line. PW in a big hole.
Oh.
10-pin.
Man.
That was a big shot, and he needed a strike there. He could have cut into that big lead
Solid
from
9.
Lonnie Wallcheck. He goes solid 9, ring and 10 there.
Seventh frame takes care of a 10. Ready, let's break down this week's extra play.
Great game of Pete Weber. Starting around the 30th board right here. Now watch this. He's going to go in this direction with his speed. That gets his body out of the way and gets him to create an inside-out swing to get the ball to go from right to left. For you folks at home, if you want to go straight, walk towards your target. If you want to throw the big hook, walk away from your target.
On lane 29. In the pocket for Pete Weber. He knows it might be too late with the way Walchek is bowling.
Sorry, don't throw it that good next time, Pete. Throw it bad next time, all right?
Pete referring to the ringing 10 that he left in the 7th frame. He threw it really, really good. Gets 9. But Pete Weber can strike out for 217. Lonnie Walchek going at a 215 pace. This match is far from over.
A big shot. Big moment. No time. It was indeed. Right through the nose, and the 6-10 remains up for Walchek.
Lonnie Walchek has lost his reaction. Needs to make a big, giant move to the left, or needs to move right and go straighter and firmer.
You know, you and Marshall played some golf this week. Marshall came out on top. He had a home course advantage. Lonnie also played some golf in Oregon, Pacific Bandon, Oregon, with Jason Duran and Brian Walchek, his brother, on Monday. Helped release some of the pressure and the steam from his disappointment Sunday in Seattle. He said it really made a difference. Had a perfect day for golf in Southern Oregon.
If you've never been to Southern Oregon, they have some of the greatest golf courses in the country. It's just a beautiful place here. Weather is just ideal, usually year-round. Summertime gets a little warm, but right now, one guy looking to get red hot is Lonnie Walchek. 9th frame, he can set up the 10th frame for the strike here.
26 foundation frame time. Walchek. High. 3-6-10 up for Lonnie. With Donnelly, Ed Cleveland. Proprietors here at Lava Lanes in Medford. What a job they've done. We reflected earlier the viewpoint of Ryan Schaefer. He says the best tour stop in terms of the professionalism from proprietors and their staff to the play.
Absolutely, bar none. There is not a tournament that we bowl on tour that's run better than this tournament here.
Has to cover and does so. Open frame for Lonnie.
Not to mention the fact that the first place trophy is a $4,000 Rolex watch, engraved.
Wow.
First class all the way at this event.
That's where we're coming to you from. Lava Lanes, Medford, Oregon, live coverage here on ESPN. Here's Brian Randy Peterson, our entire crew. PDW, the Hall of Famer, bid for a 30th title. May have a roadblock in front of that. That was light, and the 2 stands for Pete.
Damn it. Man. This is retarded.
Listen to this ball hit the lane. When that ball bounces like that, it takes revolutions off. It delays hook, and that ball went too far down the lane before it hit.
So it might be a disappointment for his fan club. There they are. Nan Notaboom, Ann Evans, Tess Lorenzen, Ellie Bard, Megan Hood, Christy Howell, all from Hood River, Oregon. They make their return appearance. Their debut was last year. Good 4 or 5 hour drive from Hood River here in Medford. They're back to support them. They got their own website. Hoping for a comeback here. Gets a break there.
Whatever.
Pete strikes out. He forces Lonnie Walchek to mark the 10th frame. Gets it.
Mark in the 10th frame in the fan club.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. If Pete Weber strikes out, he forces Lonnie to get 9 pins on the first ball. If he misses his fair, it would be 198, 197. Walchek would be the winner.
But still, there is pressure coming up on Lonnie if Pete strikes out, which is similar to last week's scenario in Seattle. Pressure. And he comes through. Pete forces it.
And you notice that ball didn't bounce when it hit the lane. Dead flush perfect.
In that lane, I thought it was really good.
I crossed next to Pete in qualifying this week. He bowled phenomenal. I never heard his ball bounce once. Remember, 9 pins on the first ball, he's a winner. Anything less, he would have to convert to spare.
Isn't this a familiar situation? It wasn't a mark last week. It was that mark. Now it's the 9 pins. Still. Needs to count to advance. Oh, Oh, my goodness, a washout. This can't be happening. Not again to Lonnie Wallachek.
His last 3 frames, he went high, high, high. This ball doesn't hit the head pin. Just unbelievable.
2, 4, 10 washout.
Needs to make this and get 2 pins. But we saw Norm Duke do this to win earlier in the year in Kansas City. Made the washout to beat Mika. You have no idea how difficult this is to make. You got to get the ball left side of the head pin, throw the head pin over into the 10.
Can history repeat itself with Lonnie back-to-back weeks? He's gotten this far. Gotta cover it. 10 pins. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. That's just the
Oh, my.
ultimate screw right
That
there.
is the worst break
Ultimate
on the planet. He threw the shot, the 10 pin goes, or the head pin goes right around the 10 pin. Pete Weber wins by 2 pins.
On the bench, Pete Weber wins. It's back-to-back trouble for Lonnie, who succumbs to the pressure again. Incredible moment
Say to him.
for a great bowler on our tour. So Pete Weber advances to the final to take on Tommy DeLuce Jr. One of the great guys on the tour has to endure more hardship. Lonnie Wallachek. What a day we've had in Medford, Oregon already, folks. In that win over Brad Angelo, Tommy DeLuce Jr. flirting with a 300 game. He came up short, but still a 279-211 win for him. And Pete Weber somehow surviving a dramatic moment. Lonnie Wallachek failing again late. And you see what's on the line. $40,000, 25,000 points. Pete leads the point list right now. 25,000 of the winner. Both thinking of the title. And that match underway. Break with a 10 for Tommy DeLuce Jr.
An interesting sidebar. We watched both players in practice trying to play that straight line from second arrow. But when you watch players play the deep inside line, there's 2 players that come to my mind that are great at doing this. Well, 3. Pat Healy Jr., Tommy DeLuce Jr., and I think the best player that's ever played the deep inside line is 3-time U.S. Open champion Dave Husted. There's Petey with the straight ball from second arrow.
He's really made a change in the warm-up in between the semis and the finals, and a good start, which leads us to the Baby Ruth real deal matchup, Randy.
Pretty even Tommy with a little bit higher average, and now obviously that's going to translate into a higher strike percentage.
Title match numbers, outstanding. The average, almost 220. These 3 bowlers have won 30 titles in their career. On the way to a 4th, perhaps, with a big shot from PDW.
We talked about being versatile. We saw Lonnie Wallachek do it. Now watch Pete Weber, one of the best the game's ever seen. The deep inside line with a different ball on the left lane, the straight ball on the right lane.
44 events we talked about between the last title for DeLuce. Paralyzer, down goes number 5.
Yes, the paralyzing 5. We talked about making those adjustments. It's hard enough to make those adjustments game to game. Try doing it in the same game. 2 different balls, 2 different lines. You think that's easy? Well, then come out here and try it. Under this type of pressure, the lights, the money, the exemption for winning. Tommy DeLuce Jr., however, he's going with both, on both lanes, going with the deep inside shot.
Looks for the turkey ball. It's a perfect start to begin this championship match. It's been great playing so far. 3 in a row.
Made the big move in like Pete Weber did on that lane, but he went to a less aggressive bowling ball. The reason why, he's got to get that ball to push down through the spot. Let's talk about concentration for a minute. Check out these eyes. They never leave the target. You think he likes that shot?
Oh, yeah. Master craftsman, Pete Weber, makes his adjustments between the semis and the finals. Will it pay off for him? Great start. Back to Pete. Looks for the 4-bagger, lane level. Look at it. Come on. 4 in a row. What a start for each. 7 combined strikes in this championship match. crowd loves it. Emotion and a title on the line next. Plenty of enthusiasm. The crowd here today in Medford, Oregon at the Medford Open. Lava Lanes. These two have only met one time. Schaefer and Pete Weber. Schaefer earlier. Duluth now in this final. Tommy won Japan Cup this year. 259-198 against Pete. Meet again today here in Medford. Wow. The call. Perfect start for Reach. We're all even. 4 baggers between the two, leading us to the Uniroyal Tower Rock and Roll, Randy.
Lonnie Walchuk only needing a mark again. Please, the devastating washout and wraps the one around the 10. Lonnie cannot believe his fate. 2 weeks in a row.
All the mental focus training with that sports psychologist in Reno will come into play again for Lonnie Walchuk. What true competitor, though, and another challenge facing him. We're sure he'll be up to it. Duluth keeps the streak going. 5-bagger for Tommy. It's a perfect game between the two. You couldn't ask for a better championship match.
We had a comedian earlier in the week, this week at Lava Lanes. His catchphrase was, "Get her done." And that's exactly what Tommy Duluth is doing. But watch this. Watch what Pete Weber does. I've showed it to you before. Look at the fingers at the top of the swing right there. See how open that hand is? That means there's no grab at the bottom. Clean release.
Pete getting for a 5-bagger. You bet.
What do you think about that?
Got it in, Dave. Got it in, and it held line. Yeah, he said, what do you think about that? He got pumped up because he knows he got away with that shot. That was left, and it held. That'll get you pumped up in a hurry.
Hardly any hook, going right at the pocket. Adjustments continue.
At the Tournament of Champions this year, I had to get really firm on the right lane because the right lane was on fire. It burned up. It was really dry. On the left lane, I had to stay soft. It failed me in the 8th frame when I washed out. Let's see how it holds up for Pete Weber.
Yeah! Streak continues. 6-bagger Pete Weber.
So far, so good.
Same guy that bowled the first game.
Yeah, well, you got new life, Pete, and you're taking advantage of it. Same thing happened last night in round of 8 against Doug Kent. Doug Kent had Pete buried. 6th game, Dougie needs a mark in the 10th frame. Leaves the 3, 4, 6, 7. Doesn't convert. They go to a 7th game. Pete wins.
16 all-time, 300 games on TV. Maybe it's 2 more here. We'll see. Nice late break. Tommy Duluth Jr. What 6 for him?
Oh, by the way, after 18 frames, after a game and a half, Tommy Duluth Jr. only has 1 spare because he's only shot at 1 spare.
I guess the wrist is feeling okay. He tells us he may need surgery as soon as the season's done. Never sure when the last ball might be thrown. It hurts every time he competes. It's that bad. Fought through it.
I guarantee you right now he's not feeling any pain because it's pure adrenaline and the rush of the moment. Being in the spotlight, the big-time PBA Tour Championship match going against the great Pete Weber. Perfect through 6 frames.
How about a 7-bagger? Tommy Duluth Jr. You better believe it, folks. What a match we've got brewing here in Medford.
How comfortable and confident does Tommy Duluth Jr. look? Look at this hand. Same open hand a la Pete Weber. And a perfect result.
Had the front 9 in that other match of the day for him in the semis, so he's already won the $10,000 from Cambridge Credit Council. Only 1 bowler can do that per TV show, so we can't have that again. But still 20,000 available. Can Pete continue to roll?
Yeah!
Oh,
Yeah! That's right! Let's go after it!
7 in a row for each. We're all even. Can you believe it?
I can't tell you how impressed I am watching this unfold. Not only what Tommy Duluth Jr. is doing, but the way Pete Weber is getting there. Straight and hard on the right lane. Big, giant hook on the left lane.
Max score for each is still perfection. PBA at its finest. 6 for 8 in a row. Yeah, another!
Get you there!
Is pressure. Looks for his 8th straight.
Yes! It doesn't get any better than this, Dave Ryan. Both players with the front 8.
How about it?
Incredible bowling, folks. Buckle up because we have got one whale of finish coming your way. If you have the remote control in your hand, put it down. Put it down.
Anybody that doesn't think that PBA bowling is not exciting, they don't own a television.
Look at the breakdown. 16 games have been accomplished in tour history on TV. Maybe more to come. It's high, and his streak is over in a big way with a split.
And a bad one here. 4-9 pocket split. If it's just 9, it's still a possibility of 279, which means if Pete Weber strikes in the 9th and doesn't strike in the 10th, we could have a tie. Tommy DeLuce Jr. needs to make this.
Not had a split all week. You saw the numbers in Medford. Desperately needs to come up with one now. 4-9, difficult shot. Doesn't get it. He chops just the 4. The 9 stands an open frame and a wide open door now for Pete Weber.
I guarantee you one thing right now. Pete Weber knows that he just got the door wide open for himself, but he knows that he wants to strike in this 9th frame, which will seal, all but seal victory. Strikes here, the only thing on Pete's mind is shooting 300.
Watch Tracy, a bowler herself. In the background, can barely stand to watch. Looks for another.
Oh, my!
A split for him. He almost had the big 4. Unbelievable, the 4-6-7.
Man.
Watch him come up and out of this shot. Normally when this happens, it's a big pull. Sure enough, right through the face. He needs to get 2. Keep it a one-pin game.
He does get 2. The 6 stands, and the return break after perfection to start our championship match. Now
Man.
he's down 1.
All right.
What an unbelievable swing.
Pete Weber, 3 strikes in the 10th frame, 265. Tommy DeLuce Jr., 3 strikes in the 10th frame, 266.
Wow. It could come down to that. More drama, more pressure.
Gotta have it.
Big rebound shot after the open for PDW.
Gotta have it. He's got to have this one. He needs all 3 in the 10th to apply all the pressure to TD.
Pete has won 29 titles. He told us last night after the round of 8. Doesn't matter how many I've won. I still have a thirst each and every week for competitive fires. That's not cool for Pete Weber one bit.
Absolutely nothing in the world like winning.
The king of the hill. Going tour for a week. Trying to get back
Come
there.
on.
Earn his
Yeah.
crown. Big shot. Helping him to the championship route.
Huge, huge shot that forces Tommy DeLuce to at least double. But remember, Tommy DeLuce Jr. today has only not struck twice. And we're through 9 frames of his second game. A 10-pin and a 4-9 is the only thing that Tommy DeLuce Jr. has left today. Big strike here. This will force Tommy DeLuce Jr. to strike out.
Really put the pressure on.
Yes! Big time strike right there. It's a lot more difficult. It really factors into the mental psyche to have to get 3 strikes to win. A double and 9, much easier to do.
First things first for Tommy DeLuce Jr. He's got to have it here. Not a strike. Pete's a champion. There's one.
Anything less than strikes for Tommy DeLuce Jr., it's over. 2 more strikes, Tommy DeLuce Jr. is a winner.
It's impossible, folks, in this sport to create any more pressure, any more drama than what we're seeing unfold in Southern Oregon today. Gotta have it. 10 pin for Tommy DeLuce Jr. And it's over. Pete Weber has won his 30th career PBA title and gets the congratulations from his wife, Tracy.
God, I'm the luckiest person on the face of the earth today.
Yeah, right you are, Pete. Not that you don't deserve it, but Tommy DeLuce Jr., in my opinion, did nothing wrong today. Made the best effort, put the best performance out there on the lanes, and came up 9 pins short.
You can't play any better for the week.
Rather be lucky than good. That is the situation with Pete Weber, who survives not one but 2 huge breaks in this television show this afternoon.
Tommy DeLuce Jr. never missed the pocket the entire day for 2 games, 279, 256, and he has a second place finish to show for it.
He's just floored by the victory. 4th ever to win 30 career titles, and now congratulations from his club.
Forget the fight list on the gun.
It's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. What a day. History making for Pete Weber. We had it all on the PBA Tour. The club loved every minute of it.